And good evening, barflies and lounge lizards, and welcome to the Atomic Snack Bar. And tonight we'll be discussing 5 more obscure and/or underrated retro sci-fi films. This isn't a top list or a ranking, just 5 films I wanted to talk about. And number 5 on the list is Moontrap from 1989. Directed by Robert Dyke, who is probably most famous for this very film, Moontrap is a sci-fi almost creature feature, and tells the story of the discovery of a derelict alien spaceship orbiting the Earth. Within is discovered a strange alien pod and a mummified corpse. So naturally these things are brought back to Earth, and as expected from an alien pod, it constructs a cybernetic body and goes on a rampage, much like my first day of elementary school. After the cyborg creature is put down, and boy is it, 2 astronauts head to the moon in hopes of ending any potential alien cyborg threat. And we'll leave it at that. Director Robert Dyke was also a special effects artist who worked on Harry and the Hendersons and Evil Dead 2. He only has 4 film directing credits to his name. He mostly did commercial work, but all 4 are sci-fi films, so good on him. Moontrap stars Walter Koenig as our lead astronaut. I'm sure you know Mr. Koenig best from Star Trek 4.
It's where they keep the nuclear vessels.
Man, I just never get tired of that. But also of note was Koenig's standout role on Babylon 5 as one of the show's most interesting antagonists. That's a really underrated show if you haven't seen it. Then as our sidekick we have a gentleman by the name of Bruce Campbell. Campbell is a writer, director, and beloved genre film actor. And I'm sure you all know him best from Briscoe County Jr., Hercules and Xena, and of course, Bubba Hotep. I know, you're probably thinking I'm just doing that thing where I leave out an actor's most famous role. No, not this time. Campbell was also in the 100% factual documentary, My Name is Bruce. Moontrap was shot in Michigan on a budget of $3.6 million. It featured production designed by artist and puppeteer B.K. Taylor, known for his work on trading cards, National Lampoon Magazine, and The Muppet Show. He did an early design for Dr. Teeth. Taylor said that he wanted to give Moontrap a 1950s feel. He'd first met the director at a comic book convention where he was recruited for the film. Moontrap would receive a sequel in 2017 titled Moontrap Target Earth. It features the same writer and director, but is not a direct sequel and features a new cast. Even more interesting, the film got a comic book adaptation by Caliber Comics, which features very cool black and white artwork by Gary Kwapis of Conan fame. Moontrap is a cool little hidden gem, and if you ever wanted to see Chekhov shoot a robot in the face with a shotgun, this is the film for you. And number 4 on the list is Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park from 1978. Directed by Gordon Hessler of Golden Voyage of Sinbad fame, Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, or more appropriately, The Phantom of the Park Meets Kiss briefly, is a made-for-TV sci-fi superhero film starring, you guessed it, Donnie and Marie. And it tells the story of a disgruntled animatronic engineer who works for a theme park. He's none too happy when rock band Kiss is scheduled to play a show at the park. When said engineer is let go, he does the obvious, creates Kiss robots in order to discredit the band and ruin their upcoming performance. Kiss doesn't take this lying down and goes into the park to confront the mad scientists with their superpowers. The film stars, well, for the most part, rock group Kiss playing themselves. Very accurately too. The film was meant to elevate the band, who are at the peak of their career thus far, to the next level. It didn't exactly go that way. And though Gene would go on to become quite a good actor, he's awesome in Runaway, it's actually Ace who turns in the best performance here. Then we have Anthony Zerbe as our mad scientist. Zerbe is a TV and film actor with appearances in Still Dawn, Cool Hand Luke, and probably most notably, The Omega Man. This one has a pretty bad reputation, even with certain members of the band. And I'll grant you, not including the opening credits, it takes 27 minutes before the band makes an appearance in the film. Then it takes another 10 to 20 minutes for it to really get going. But once it does, and once the band is in the amusement park, it is all kinds of awesome. Wonderfully 70s and strange. I mean, who hasn't wanted to see Kiss battle what I thought were animatronic werewolves but apparently are monkey men? And look at Ace go! Clearly that's really him. Filmed at the Magic Mountain theme park and produced by Hanna-Barbera, the movie was presented to Kiss as a cross between Star Wars and A Hard Day's Night, which clearly it was. Peter Criss, who wasn't at all on any illegal substances at the time, refused to go in for ADR, though he claims he did. But actor Michael Bell would be brought in to dub Criss's dialogue. Bell has done quite a bit of on-screen acting, but is probably best known as a voice actor, having done voices for Transformers, Voltron, and maybe most notably G.I. Joe as Duke, Xamot, and several others. Kiss Meets the Phantom would receive a theatrical release in Europe under the title Attack of the Phantoms, and featured a different cut that many consider to be the best version of the film. And number 3 on the list is It's Alive from 1969. And this is one totally on the obscure side of things. And no, it's not the Killer Baby movie, but in fact a made-for-TV creature feature directed by Larry Buchanan and released by AIP. Opening with some truly odd narration.
There is a legend in these hills that when it rains and sun shines at the same time, the devil is kissing his wife.
It tells the story of a pair of newlyweds driving cross-country to LA. The two get lost and nearly run out of gas out in the country. The husband, who is exceptionally hostile for seemingly no reason at all, is none too pleased.
My wife's fond of traveling by car. Unhurried excursions along the scenic byways.
I mean, really, the two arrive at a stranger's farmhouse to ask for some gas. But rather than get out of the car, dude just angrily honks his horn like 50 times, expecting the poor farmer to come to him. They've never even met this guy. So you really don't feel sorry for the husband when he and his wife are taken prisoner by the farmer for sinister reasons. Now this may sound like your typical crazy people country horror movie, but there's no cannibals here. Nope, the farmer wants to feed the couple too his pet dinosaur. Well, sort of dinosaur. Director Larry Buchanan is well known for his 50 sci-fi remakes for AIP, including Invasion of the Saucermen, It Conquered the World, The She-Creature, and Day the World Ended, but all under different titles. The film stars Bill Thurman as our dinosaur enthusiast farmer. Thurman was a film and TV actor known for playing rednecks and sheriffs. Some of the films he appeared in include Zontar the Thing from Venus, which was the Larry Buchanan remake of It Conquered the World, Gator Bait, and In the Year 2889, which was the Buchanan remake of Day the World Ended. Then we have Tommy Kirk as a friendly paleontologist the newlyweds meet. Kirk was an actor known for numerous Disney movies, but he was also in some sci-fi pictures, including Village of the Giants and Mars Needs Women. And I'm gonna stop there. Why? A dinosaur ate my notes on the cast. It's Alive was loosely based on the Richard Matheson story Being, and was supposedly intended to star Peter Lorre, one would assume as the farmer, though how cool would it have been if Lorre had been the romantic lead? But being that Lorre died 5 years before the film came out, who knows for sure? It's Alive was shot in 6 days in a cave in Arkansas. The costume for the dinosaur-like creature was actually a reuse of the creature from Buchanan's She-Creature remake, Creature of Destruction. And that was 4 creatures in one sentence. This is a strange little movie that I would recommend the folks who dig stuff like Manos the Hands of Fate. And you could play a heck of a drinking game with it. Just take a drink each time the husband is hostile for no reason. You'd be plastered in like 20 minutes. And on that, we should take a break.
Finally, a robot to stop ladies from squeezing Charmin.
Don't squeeze Charmin. Don't squeeze Charmin.
Charmin's doubly fluffy, doubly irresistible.
Don't squeeze. Fluffy. Squeeze Charmin. Squeeze Charmin.
Squeezack's
right, Mr. Whipple.
It's doubly irresistible.
Don't squeeze Charmin. Don't squeeze.
Be sure to get your free soap opera photo novel with special offers inside the next time you buy Charmin.
And we're back, and number 2 on the list is Target Earth from 1954. Directed by Sherman A. Rose, Target Earth is an independent sci-fi mystery that feels like a feature-length episode of The Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits. And it tells the story of a young lady who wakes up after an attempt to end it all, only to find that her building has no water or power. She wanders outside to find Chicago to be completely abandoned, with not a soul around. Soon she runs across a few others who are also unaware as to how they stumbled into a Twilight Zone episode. That and some dead bodies. Not to mention some killer robots out there doing what killer robots do best. The film stars Kathleen Crowley as our less than happy lead. Crowley was a film and TV actress that snack bar patrons probably know best from either this very film or Curse of the Undead. Then we have Richard Denning as another of our survivors. Denny did quite a bit of genre picture work, including Creature from the Black Lagoon, Day the World Ended, Creature with the Atom Brain, and The Black Scorpion. Next up is Whit Bissell, who plays a scientist. Bissell was also in Creature from the Black Lagoon, as well as I Was a Teenage Werewolf, I Was a Teenage Frankenstein, The Time Machine, and the classic Star Trek episode The Trouble with Tribbles. But probably most important of all, we have Steve Calvert as the robot invaders. And why is that the most important of all? Because Calvert was an accomplished Gorilla Man, and it's been at least 10 minutes since I've talked about Gorilla Men. But Calvert played gorillas in Bride of the Gorilla, Bela Lugosi meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, The Bowery Boys Meet the Monsters, and Bride and the Beast, written by Ed Wood, plus several more, including the Three Stooges short. Calvert owned 2 gorilla suits, one of which he apparently bought from Ray Crash Corrigan. Target Earth was an early production gig for Herman Cohen, who would go on to be quite prolific in genre films. He even produced Trog. Robert Rourke, who plays another survivor in the film and essentially the villain of the piece, supposedly only got the role because his father was an investor. I can neither confirm nor deny this, for Rourke actually did several films before and after Target Earth, one of which was the googly-eyed classic Killers from Space. And finally, let's end on a supposedly. But supposedly, they filmed the exterior shots without permits on a Sunday morning, all guerrilla style. See what I did there? Guerrilla style? I know it's a different spelling, but still, that's quality YouTubing right there. And number 1 on the list is the Primevals from 2023. But not really. I'll get to that in a moment. Directed by stop-motion animator David Allen, the Primevals is a sci-fi adventure film, and it tells the story of the discovery of a Yeti in Nepal. But it doesn't go the King Kong route. That poor joker is taken out almost immediately, and the body is sent to the US for study. Much to the surprise of the scientists, it appears that the Yeti has had brain surgery, so an expedition is put together to find out the truth behind the matter. But soon the expedition discovers a hidden prehistoric world, and that's just the start of it. Director David Allen is a strange case where he's both a legend in stop-motion animation and yet also an unsung hero. His resume is just a checklist of awesome and includes Puppet Master 3, Subspecies, Bride of Reanimator, When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, and, you know it, Flesh Gordon. Gotta give a little something for all my dirty birdies out there. But there were so many I had a hard time picking which ones to highlight. Films, that is, not dirty birdies. The Primevals stars Richard Joseph Paul as our lead. Paul is probably best known genre film-wise as the star of the Oblivion films, but he was also in Revenge of the Nerds 2 and Vampirella. Then we have Juliette Mills as our lead scientist. Mills is a stage and screen actress who appeared in Beyond the Door and Waxwork too. But we're going to stop there because we have much to get to. As mentioned, the Primevals was released in 2023, but it had been in the works for a long time, going all the way back to the 1960s. The original idea being an Edgar Rice Burroughs inspired piece along with fellow stop-motion animator Jim Danforth. That wouldn't happen, not exactly, but Allen would continue on. And finally, in 1994, he was able to make the movie with frequent collaborator Charles Band of Empire Pictures and Full Moon. Much of the film was completed, but because of financial difficulties, the effect shots were slow going. Then, unfortunately, in 1999, David Allen passed away at only 54 years old, so the Primevals was shelved. But Charles Band and Allen's colleague Chris Endicott were determined to bring the film to light one day. Jump ahead to 2018, Band launched a crowdfunding campaign. That, combined with many of Allen's friends donating their time in order to make his dream finally happen, the Primevals was finally finished and released. And let me tell you, this is a wonderful little movie with some of the best stop motion ever put on film. It really feels like a classic Harryhausen adventure film, mixed with just a bit of that peak Full Moon goodness. And I know this was supposed to be an episode about retro movies, and this one wasn't released until 2023, but I count it as a 1994 film. But really, you should know by now that I don't follow even my own rules. And that's all the time we have for this weekend. So gang, what did you think of the episode?
What a waste.
Can't all feel that way. What about you, Ace? Fair enough. Please like, comment, subscribe, watch the skies, and stay atomic.